What happens when the strongest couple on Love and Hip Hop is torn apart in front of millions? Mendeecees, the man who swore to fight for his marriage after prison, has reportedly walked out on Yandy Smith in a shocking, emotional confrontation that left fans in disbelief. But the twist no one saw coming. Tamar Braxton, yes, Tamar, stepping directly into the chaos. Sources claim Tamar's sudden involvement has turned a private meltdown into a public firestorm. And now the entire cast is whispering about what's really going on behind closed doors. Is Tamar consoling Yandy as a friend, or is her presence stirring even more tension in a fragile marriage already on the edge? Fans are divided. Insiders are leaking explosive details, and the drama is only getting messier by the minute. The question everyone's asking, is this the end of Yandy and Mendeecees? For years, Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris have been portrayed as one of the strongest couples in the Love and Hip Hop universe. Through prison time, family drama, and endless cast beef, Yandy stood tall, holding down her man and building her empire. She was the ride or die, the businesswoman, the mother who balanced it all. And when Mendeecees came home from prison, fans celebrated what they believed was the triumphant reunion of hip-hop's most unshakable couple. But behind the smiles and Instagram posts, insiders say cracks had already begun to show, while Yandy kept her brand spotless. Whispers followed Mendeecees, whispers of distance, of resentment, of a man who felt overshadowed by his wife's spotlight. The breaking point came during what was supposed to be a calm, FILMED conversation about their marriage. Yandy, frustrated by what she saw as Mendeecees' lack of effort, confronted him with raw emotion. "I held you down when nobody else did. I fought for you. I kept this family together. But sometimes it feels like you resent me for it." Her voice cracked, but her words cut deep. Mendeecees didn't stay silent. Instead, he shocked everyone in the room by standing up mid-conversation, grabbing his jacket and saying, "I can't do this anymore." Cameras captured Yandy's stunned face as he walked out, leaving her broken, humiliated, and speechless. But the twist that turned this moment from heartbreak into headline news came just hours later. Tamar Braxton, who had been filming for another project nearby, suddenly spotted with Yandy. Social media exploded with questions. Why was Tamar there? Was she consoling Yandy? Or was there more to her involvement than anyone realized? Insiders claim Tamar wasn't just offering comfort, she was actively stepping into the storyline. Some sources say Tamar pulled Yandy aside, whispering advice about men who can't handle powerful women. Others suggest Tamar may have confronted Mendeecees directly, telling him he was throwing away a queen. For fans, Tamar's sudden presence raised eyebrows. Why was she involved at all? And why did it feel like her role in this meltdown was bigger than just being a friend? The cast, of course, had their own theories. Carly Red allegedly muttered off camera, "This ain't no coincidence. Tamar don't just show up unless she's got something to say." Erica Mena, ever the instigator, allegedly hinted that Yandy's connection with Tamar might go deeper than friendship, fueling speculation that Tamar had been pulled into Yandy's world long before this dramatic walkout. Meanwhile, fans flooded social media with reactions. Not Tamar stepping in like she's the marriage counselor, one user wrote. Another tweeted, "If Tamar's in this, you know it's about to get messy." Within hours, hashtags like #YandyY and Mendeecees, #TAMAR steps in, and #marriage on the line were trending. Yandy, visibly shaken, stayed mostly quiet. But cameras allegedly caught her whispering to Tamar, "I don't even recognize him anymore." That moment, raw and vulnerable, set the stage for what insiders say will be one of the most explosive arcs in love and hip-hop history. Because here's the thing, Mendeecees walking out was dramatic enough, but Tamar Braxton stepping into the mix, that's not just drama, that's nuclear. And according to producers, the moment Mendeecees stormed out on Yandy, the tension that had been building for years finally snapped. For the cameras, it was shocking. For Yandy, it was devastating. And for Tamar Braxton to be there in the middle of it all, that's what turned this personal meltdown into an industry-wide bombshell. After Mendeecees walked out, Yandy reportedly collapsed into tears, whispering to producers, "I don't even know who he is anymore." The boss lady, the woman who held her household together through prison and public humiliation, was suddenly raw and exposed. That's when Tamar stepped in, wrapping her arms around Yandy and telling her, "Girl, don't let him make you feel small. You are the prize." But here's where the conflict exploded. Mendeecees, instead of cooling off, doubled down. He allegedly went live with friends hours later, venting about how he felt controlled and unappreciated. His words were cutting. "You've been running this marriage like it's her brand. I'm tired of being a prop in her empire." Fans watching couldn't believe their ears. The man who had once begged for her loyalty during his prison sentence was now portraying himself as the victim. The backlash was immediate. Viewers dragged him online, accusing him of gaslighting the very woman who had fought hardest for him. "You weren't a prop when she was paying bills while you were locked up," one fan wrote. But others began to wonder if there was some truth in his frustration. Could Yandy's powerful presence have made Mendeecees feel overshadowed? Then came the first twist. Tamar wasn't just consoling Yandy, she was filming a guest segment for the same show. According to insiders, Tamar had already been in talks with producers to appear in a crossover storyline. And the timing of her involvement wasn't coincidence. This fueled wild speculation that Tamar's role wasn't just supportive, but strategic. Some cast members were quick to question her motives. Carly Red, never one to hold her tongue, allegedly muttered, "Tamar loves the spotlight. Don't get it twisted, she didn't just come to hug Yandy. She came for the storyline." Erica Mena chimed in on social media, posting a cryptic message. "Some people play therapist on camera, but off camera, they stir the pot." Fans immediately linked the shade to Tamar, igniting another layer of chaos. Yandy, meanwhile, was torn. On one hand, she was grateful for Tamar's support in her lowest moment. On the other, she couldn't shake the feeling that her private pain had just become another headline, and Tamar's presence made it impossible to separate genuine support from opportunism. The internet, of course, had its own theories. Some fans applauded Tamar for empowering Yandy, calling her the big sister Yandy never had. Others accused Tamar of inserting herself into a marriage crisis for clout. One viral tweet read, "Tamar Braxton, don't even go here. Why is she all up in Yandy's business?" But here's where the storyline deepened. Tamar allegedly confronted Mendeecees directly. According to whispers from production, Tamar pulled him aside and said, "You're throwing away a queen. Do you know how many men would kill to have a woman like Yandy?" Mendeecees reportedly rolled his eyes, telling Tamar to mind her business. That exchange, caught on camera, became one of the season's most talked about moments. The conflict wasn't just personal anymore, it was public, messy and layered with new alliances. Yandy and Tamar on one side, Mendeecees on the other, lashing out about his place in the marriage. And the cast standing around, each with their own opinions and agendas. The first twist made fans realize this wasn't just about one walkout. It was about power, respect. And what happens when outside voices like Tamar's step into a marriage already cracking under pressure? Yandy, meanwhile, was crushed. According to producers, she broke down when shown the photos. "After everything I did for him, he walks out on me and runs to another woman. Nah, I can't take this anymore." Her voice cracked, but her fury was undeniable. For the first time in years, Yandy wasn't just hurt, she was done. Tama, of course, fueled the fire. On social media, she posted a cryptic message. "Sometimes God lets the trash take itself out." Fans instantly connected the dots, assuming it was shade aimed directly at Mendeecees. Her comment section exploded with support, but also backlash. "Tamar, mind your business," some fans wrote. Others clapped back with, "Say it louder for the women in the back." The escalation didn't stop there. During filming, Carly Red stirred the pot in classic fashion, confronting Yandy with a bombshell of her own. "Girl, I heard that woman he was with is somebody Tamar knows." The room fell silent. If true, it meant Tamar wasn't just consoling Yandy. She was tangled in the drama more than anyone realized. The shocking reveal came later that week when the mystery woman's identity was allegedly exposed. According to leaks, she was an Atlanta-based stylist who had worked with Tamar in the past. Photos surfaced of them together at events, and fans immediately started speculating whether Tamar had unknowingly brought this woman into Yandy and Mendeecees' orbit. The twist was too messy to ignore. Tamar might have comforted Yandy on one hand while indirectly being linked to the very woman Mendeecees walked out to meet. The cast's reactions only escalated the chaos. Erica Mena rolled her eyes and said on live, "This is why you can't let outsiders into your marriage. Now look." Carly Red doubled down, whispering to producers, "This ain't no coincidence. Tamar been closer to this than she's letting on." And Sierra, ever the peacemaker, warned Yandy gently, "Sis, you've got to decide if you're protecting your marriage or your sanity." Fans were merciless. Memes flooded timelines showing Tamar holding Yandy, while captions read, "Meanwhile, sis knows the stylist too." Others mocked Mendeecees, comparing him to Kirk Frost and calling him the sequel nobody wanted. The betrayal was being turned into entertainment, and Yandy's pain was now a public circus. But the most heartbreaking part came when Yandy confided on camera that she was scared. Not just for her marriage, but for her children. "What do I tell them? That their father walked out on me and might be with someone else?" That's the example they're seeing. Her tears poured, and for the first time, fans saw Yandy not as a strong boss lady, but as a vulnerable woman fighting to keep her family intact. The shocking reveal, Mendeecees possibly being tied to a woman connected to Tamar, left everyone stunned. Was Tamar truly innocent? Or had she unknowingly played a role in the fallout? And if Tamar knew more than she let on, what did that mean for her support of Yandy? By the end of the episode, Yandy's trust was shattered. Not just in Mendeecees, but in the people around her. Tamar, once her comfort, was now surrounded by whispers. Mendeecees, once her partner, was now being painted as the ultimate betrayer. And the cast, once her friends, were circling like vultures. The escalation was undeniable. The shocking reveal shook the entire foundation of Yandy's marriage, and it left fans with one burning question. If Tamar really was connected to the woman at the center of this scandal, was she helping Yandy or playing her? The fallout from Mendeecees' dramatic walkout didn't just rock Yandy's world, it set social media, blogs, and even the entertainment industry ablaze. Within hours, clips of him storming out and Tamar holding Yandy in tears went viral, igniting conversations far beyond the love and hip-hop universe. On Twitter, hashtags exploded. Hashtag Yandy deserves better. Hashtag Mendeecees and hashtag TAMAR steps in dominated timelines. Fans picked sides instantly. Team Yandy flooded the platform with support, praising her strength and resilience. Team Mendeecees, though smaller, argued that he had a right to walk away if he felt controlled. But the loudest voices came from fans side-eyeing Tamar. One viral tweet read, "We love Tamar, but why is she smack in the middle of Yandy's marriage?" It racked up over 200K likes in less than a day. Instagram was even messier. Meme pages had a field day. Posting side-by-side images of Tamar holding Yandy next to paparazzi shots of Mendeecees walking into a hotel with the mystery woman. Captions screamed, "The triangle we didn't ask for but can't stop watching." Comment sections turned into battle zones. Some fans begged Tamar to keep being the sister Yandy needs, while others accused her of secretly feeding the scandal for clout. Celebrities couldn't resist weighing in. K. Michelle posted a cryptic story saying, "I told y'all years ago. Some of these men ain't built for real women. Stop wasting your time." Fans immediately linked it to Yandy and Mendeecees. Cardi B, always vocal, hopped on live and said bluntly, "Yandy, too good for this. Tamar, I love you, but don't get too deep in that mess. That's husband and wife business." Her comments went viral within minutes, even in the industry. Whispers spread like wildfire. Atlanta radio stations spent entire segments dissecting the scandal. One popular host said, "Mendeecees, gotta remember, Yandy is more than a wife. She's a brand. And when you walk out on her, you're not just walking out on a marriage, you're walking out on an empire." His co-host added, "And Tamar, she better be careful. This ain't Braxton family values. This is LHHATL, different battlefield." The cast had their own reactions, and they weren't quiet about it. Erica Mena, never one to miss a messy moment, went live laughing. Mendeecees talking about he feels controlled. "Baby, you was locked up while she ran your whole world. Controlled. Please." Carly Red, on the other hand, poured gasoline on the fire, posting a selfie with a caption, "Some women like to play therapist on camera, but off camera, they ain't so innocent." Fans immediately speculated the shade was aimed directly at Tamar. And then came the most jaw-dropping reaction of all. Tamar herself. After days of whispers and shade, she finally clapped back on Instagram Live. "Let me clear this up. I love Yandy, that's my sis, and I'll always be there for her. But don't get it twisted. I don't want her man. Never did, never will. That's between them. I'm just here to make sure my girl don't drown in this mess." Her statement drew mixed responses. Some applauded her loyalty. Others side-eyed her even harder, arguing that if she truly didn't want the smoke, she wouldn't be so publicly involved in the first place. Meanwhile, the mystery woman at the hotel started trending on her own. Bloggers dug into her background, posting alleged photos of her styling celebrities in Atlanta, including Tamar. That connection reignited the rumor mill. Did Tamar inadvertently introduce this woman into Mendeecees' life? Was she the link that tied this entire scandal together? Rashida from LHHATL even chimed in during a sit-down with fans, saying, "I feel for Yandy. She's always been solid. But sometimes being solid for everybody else leaves you cracked inside. I just hope she puts herself first this time." Her comments resonated with fans, who saw them as both support and subtle foreshadowing of what Yandy might do next. The industry impact was undeniable. Producers were ecstatic. The storyline was already being called the most explosive in years. But insiders whispered about Yandy's brand deals being at risk. One fashion partner reportedly told her team, "We don't want to be tied to drama about infidelity and walkouts." The thought of her business empire suffering because of Mendeecees choices left Yandy even more torn. The public reaction was clear: sympathy for Yandy, skepticism toward Tamar, and absolute disgust at Mendeecees' actions. Fans rallied behind Yandy with #LeaveMendeecees hashtags, pushing her to finally walk away. Some even tagged Tamar, urging her to step back before she got painted as the villain by the end of the week. One thing was certain: this scandal wasn't just about a husband walking out. It was about loyalty, betrayal, friendship, and the fine line between comfort and interference. And with Tamar clapping back, Yandy broken but silent, and Mendeecees refusing to apologize, fans knew the next chapter would bring an even bigger bombshell. By this point, the situation had already spiraled into a tornado of betrayal, speculation, and social media chaos. But just when fans thought they had seen the worst of it, the story took a turn so explosive it shook the entire love and hip-hop universe. Yandy had been quiet, too quiet. While Tamar defended her on lives and Mendeecees sulked in hotel rooms, Yandy was plotting her next move. Insiders revealed she'd been sitting on information that could change the entire narrative. And when she finally decided to speak, she didn't just break the silence. She detonated a bomb. During what was supposed to be a private cast dinner, Yandy stood up, her voice trembling but strong. Looking around the table, she said, "I've protected this man for years. I've defended him when I knew he was wrong. But now, enough is enough. If you think walking out was the end, wait until you hear the truth." She pulled out her phone, showing the group receipts not just of Mendeecees' hotel stay, but financial records tying him to the mystery woman for months. While I was holding our family down, he was funding someone else's life, Yandy declared. The room erupted. Carly gasped dramatically. Erica cackled and Tamar buried her face in her hands. The tension didn't stop there. Yandy dropped the ultimate twist. The mystery woman wasn't just some random stylist. She had a direct link to Tamar, according to Yandy's claim. Tamar had introduced her at a past industry event, not knowing she would eventually become the woman tangled up with Mendeecees. Yandy's words hit like a thunderclap. You didn't just walk out on me, Mendeecees. You walked straight into the arms of someone connected to my so-called friend. Gasps filled the room. Tamar, blindsided, immediately defended herself. I had no idea. Don't you dare put this on me. But the damage was done. The seed was planted. Tamar's involvement, whether intentional or not, now looked messier than ever. The cliffhanger only deepened when Mendeecees finally broke his silence. Instead of apologizing, he snapped back. You want to air out my dirt? Fine. But don't act like you're so innocent, Yandy. You've been keeping secrets too. The room froze. Tamar's eyes widened. Yandy's face went pale. What did Mendeecees mean? Did Yandy have her own skeletons hidden? Was he bluffing in desperation, or was there really another layer to this already tangled mess? Producers cut filming right there, knowing they had captured the ultimate cliffhanger. A shattered marriage. Tamar's accidental involvement, Yandy's bombshell receipts, and Mendeecees threatening to expose her. Fans who got wind of the dinner meltdown went wild online. Memes labeled it the Betrayal Olympics. Some fans turned against Tamar, demanding she step back. Others begged Yandy to finally leave. And a shocking number started speculating about Yandy's secret, creating wild theories. That she might have had her own emotional entanglement during Mendeecees' prison sentence. By the end of the week, one thing was clear. The story wasn't over. In fact, it was only just beginning. Would Tamar's name be cleared, or would she be dragged deeper into the scandal? Would Yandy reveal her own secret? Or would Mendeecees do it for her? And most of all, would this be the final collapse of a marriage fans once thought was unbreakable? The cameras cut, the dinner ended, and the screen faded out, leaving the entire audience screaming for answers. The cliffhanger was perfect. Tamar caught in the crossfire, Yandy reclaiming her power, and Mendeecees threatening to spill the one truth that could destroy them all.